everyone. Welcome to another episode. If you have not watched or maybe watched, listened to part one of this episode, you're definitely going to want to because it beautifully links into part two. I had to cut the episode in half, so now we're on part two because it was such a good episode, and I was on my microphone for 50 minutes for the episode, just full giving you guys all of the information around this topic of really getting to that place of full body health, getting to your ideal weight, those trending topics that we all think about, but maybe feel weird talking about. The weight part talking about, because, it's wrong to want to lose weight. And as I talk about that in the module, I've got a different opinion on it. Oh my God, the module. It's a Friday afternoon at 4:43 p.m. and I am fucking delirious right now. I'm just saying. I just got off a meeting, not the module, the podcast episode, part one of this. I just got off a meeting with my team and, Sarah left and then it was just Meg and I, and we were talking about a few things. And I have not laughed that hard. I was like smacking the table because I was, when you're laughing so hard that you need to like expend your energy. So you start like abusing objects. That's what I was doing. I was crying, laughing, hitting my table, like my desk, just screaming. I really wish that for some reason we recorded that meeting because it just would have been fucking gold what we were talking about. But honestly, you guys might get a fucking hint because we were both delirious and we were just loose cannons and it was a Friday. And when you are completely sober, but you kind of feel like you're drunk or on something. That's what I felt like on the meeting. I was just so high on the situation and the giggles and life. Anyway, so we came up with some really good ideas, some crazy ideas. When I bring them to my fiance, he's probably honestly just going to look at me and then roll his eyes. But anyway, that will be saved for another time. So getting back to this topic, today's part was the fourth piece of the important puzzle in getting your body healthy again. So in the last episode, we talked about your hormones, we talked about your physical health, and we talked about your energetic health. And now today we are talking about your nervous system. So your nervous system includes the brain, the spinal cord, and a really complex network of nerves throughout your body. The nervous system basically sends messages back and forth between the brain and the body. The brain is what controls all the body's functions, but about 80% of the signals get sent from your body to your brain, right? That's why somatic healing is really important because your body sends messages to the brain. Yes, your brain then controls those, it controls you moving your arm this way. It controls you picking up your dog. Yes, your brain has that part of the puzzle, but 80% of the messages actually come from your body and then up to your brain, which is really interesting. Hence why body work and your nervous system is such an important piece in any part of your life, really. So your nervous system is basically just what sends signals out to the rest of your body. And if those signals are encoded with fear or scarcity or stress or pain, how do you think that's going to affect the rest of you? There are many of us that learn and have to learn to adapt to the cards that we're given, right? To adapt to what's been kind of laid out for us in our life. And we learn to not even think that there is something something else better out there. That's why when I talk about expanders, it's really important to grasp this concept that when you are, for example, in the room with somebody that expands you or that you would like to be like, or just expands your mind of what's even possible for you and available for you, it literally changes your system and your encoding because now you're like, oh, there is something else. If you don't know that there is another option, if you don't know that there is another way of living your life or running your business or, being in a relationship or communicating, if that's not in your awareness, you won't even be able to go towards achieving that, right? We often will cap ourselves with what we can have in our life or what we can let go of in our lives or what we can experience in our lives because it hasn't been normalized to us. So that's why it's really great when you get into the worlds of other people that you really aspire to because you are making what to them is very normal, your new normal, which is really important. So many of us are very blissfully unaware of how exhausted our bodies are, right? That it's hanging on by a thread, that we hate ourselves for, pigging out at 10 p.m. to food that makes you feel yuck. But I want to offer you a hand of self-compassion to understand that if your nervous system is fucked, you're not even thinking when you're behaving like this. It's so wound into the way that you react to a situation that you almost don't have a choice in the matter. In that moment, there's no thinking that goes into the actions that are taken before you pig out at 10 p.m. at night. You just do it. But you have a choice now as you listen to this episode. You're listening to this podcast and you can make a decision to heal your physical health now. This is why when I mentioned in the last part 1, I mentioned that it's now coming to the, attention of the media, which is fantastic, mass media. I think the Washington Post was reporting on it the other day, that big food companies are now paying these Instagram dietitians, so they're registered dietitians and they got a big Instagram following. They are paying them to say certain things and promote very, very, very unhealthy food. I saw one this morning that says Cheerios is a multivitamin. Are we fucking serious? The point is that we now have these dietitians that are coming out that are brainwashing people to believe that Kraft macaroni and cheese, that fucking aspartame in diet sodas is fine for you and whatnot. And it's so damaging because it puts more people in these situations of not knowing what the right choice is. That creates more decision fatigue. It creates more stress on the nervous system, which leads you to finding it harder to make those healthy choices. So you find yourself in those situations where you feel like you just reacted without even being aware of it. Before you knew it, you were eating all this food, or you ate 5 bowls of macaroni and cheese, but you weren't even consciously doing it because your nervous system is in this trauma response of reactivity, probably based on what happened that day at work that you, again, are blissfully unaware of, that caused you so much turmoil on your adrenals, that caused your adrenals so much turmoil. Guys, I literally have your summer plans sorted for next year. I'm so excited. If you haven't heard the fabulous news, I am bringing my 3-day immersion back to New York City, where it all started in 2019 for the first ever event, Never Not a Vibe. And I am crashing your European summer because I am doing my first Europe immersion event. I cannot fucking wait. I'm screaming, but I am not going to scream down the microphone to you because you're probably not going to enjoy that. If you have not heard the memo, if you have not gotten the memo, then you're probably not signed up to my email list, which you really need to be. If you didn't listen to the recent episode, which we'll link below, on the kind of changes coming, then I would go and listen to that. The waitlist gets a $500 off code. So you probably want to click the link in the description right now before we get back into the episode, and then you forget about it, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this was happening. If you click the link below, you can sign up to the waitlist, but you can also get the dates for the New York City immersion and the Europe immersion. You get the prices, the everything, so that you can save the date, you can put it in your calendar. No one then gets priority over you, and you get to have the best summer of 2024 because you get to spend it with me, and more importantly, you get to heal your trauma and fully step into the most radiant, sensual, magnetic, alluring, abundant, delicious woman that you could possibly imagine yourself to be. So I'm so excited. Make sure your name is on one of the lists or both of the lists if you're thinking about coming to both, and keep a lookout in your emails for all of the information as we start to drip it out to you guys. Oh, I'm so excited. A really important piece to understand that when it comes to focusing on your nervous system, to losing weight, or to getting your health goals, or to reducing inflammation or balancing your hormones, it's all connected. So many of us are very disconnected and distracted from our lives. We are on autopilot and we are barely thinking about what we need. We are living out of these habitual patterns, these triggers and these reactions, and they are not supporting our bodies in feeling safe. They are causing our bodies to stay in these unhealthy cycles where we get triggered. We have the adrenaline release as though the trauma is happening all over again from the very first time we felt that way. We have some kind of coping mechanism. We give ourselves the illusion that we have everything under control. We suppress it. We get triggered again, and we stay in what I call the trauma cycle. If you're in Queen Alchemy, you've seen this before. And I showed this on a recent Instagram live, and I went through it in a recent podcast episode as well. We'll link that below. Point is that you stay in this trauma cycle over and over again. And unless you do something that takes you taking the action on breaking it, your nervous system will stay in this fight, flight, or freeze situation where you are acting from a distracted, disassociated, and disconnected place. And it then it exacerbates this whole feeling of I'm not good enough, I'm failing, I'm not in alignment, I'm not my purpose is, because you're in this negative spiral, and not even necessarily spiral, you're in this negative cycle and you don't know how to get out of it because something radical has to happen in order for you to get out of it. And so I'm bringing this to your awareness today because I want to encourage you to not wait until you're told, oh, you have diabetes or you have PCOS, or I don't want you to wait until you get to that point to actually do something with your health, because you can do something right now. And I should mention this as well. For any of you that aren't overweight or obese per se, there's this thing called skinny fat. Skinny fat is basically where from the outside you're slim, but from the inside, you have all of this visceral fat over your organs. That is not a good thing. So even though you might physically look like you are healthy because the media's made it where health is being a size whatever, health is much more than that. Because you might be a size whatever. Let's say like you're the average size of a woman or a man. But what's your inflammation like? What are your hormones like? What's your brain fog like? What's your libido like? What's your gut health like? What's your focus like? What's your immune system like? What's your nervous system like? They are all key factors in your health that often get forgotten because we get so focused on a look. Just like when you're focused on a look, you might ignore all those factors and just think, I'm going to restrict my calories. I'm going to start over exercising. I'm going to start only fucking drinking celery juice, whatever it is that you think is going to do the job. That's not going to do the job. Everything that I've gone through in the previous episode and today, that's what's going to do the job. Because like I spoke about at the very end of the previous episode with my own journey after my ski accident, this is how I lost weight without trying. No trying. And I said to you guys in the last episode, I ate healthier post ski accident and really even pre-ski accident, just during that whole entire time of pre-ski accident, during ski accident recovery, and post-ski accident recovery. I ate healthier then than I did now, right? I am way more lenient with my food now. I really care. I still will not eat gluten. I won't eat dairy unless I'm in Europe. Absolutely no vegetable oil, very low sugar. But even pre-ski accident, I wasn't going to Europe multiple times a year eating a pile of carbs. Yes, they're gluten-free, but they're still carbs. A pile of carbs, right, which turns into sugar. It's glucose. If you eat too many carbs, it still can be causing you issues, even though there are things such as good carbs and bad carbs. Yes, too many carbs is still not a good thing in terms of your insulin sensitivity. We're all individual with that. I do not restrict my sugar intake when I'm over there. When I'm in Paris, I'm eating all the fucking gluten-free pastries. When I'm in Italy, I'm eating so much effing gelato. So I am way more lenient with my food now than I was back then, because it's not about just food. Now, the food that I do eat, of course, is very, very high quality food. So it's extra virgin olive oil, it's organic veggies, it's grass-fed, grass-finished meat, it's organic pasture-raised chicken. So it's really good quality food, but there's never any restriction about it because it's about the quality of the food more so than the quantity of the food. And I don't know where I talked about this before. Maybe I wrote down a note and I forgot to mention it to you. But what's really interesting is that if you think about the consumption of food, majority of healthy people that eat really healthy and that are a healthy weight, they eat so much food. I eat so much food. If you know anybody else that is normal size or slim and eats a lot and is really healthy, they probably also eat a lot of food. And what's interesting is that so many people are still caught up in that thought that if I eat less food, then I'll lose weight. It's not about eating less food, because if your body is fucking starving, you're putting your body in a stress response, which isn't helping your hormones, your nervous system, your cortisol. It's not helping the fact that your body's now holding on to weight. You're slowing down your metabolism. You're slowing down your thyroid. So we all kind of know this, but we often don't really think about it. But think about it. Of course, there are the, really overweight people that eat like way too much food, of course. But what's often the case also is when you see overweight people trying to lose weight, they often eat less, and not less than what they usually eat. They'll eat like very small portions. Meanwhile, I'm like, I'll have 5 rolls of sushi. And so I know this isn't a one size fit all, but I wanted to put that in there because I feel like these days there is shame in talking about the losing weight. There's shame in talking about, I would like to feel confident in my body at a good size. I want to be toned. It's like now that's the wrong thing to say. Now the right thing to say is you're happy at any size, you're healthy at any size, when that's not true. I want to really emphasize what I said though in the previous episode so that nobody misses this piece. If you are wanting to lose weight, because then you'll be happy, because you will then feel loved, because you'll be good enough, because then you'll be pretty enough, because then you'll feel worthy. That is the wrong reason to be wanting to lose weight. And you're doing it from a place of self-hate, not from a place of self-love. So there's 2 ways to lose weight, right? And then the healthy way to lose weight is knowing I am not at my body's healthiest weight. My body is not feeling as vital as it could. That is why I want to, like, you feel like you're holding on to extra weight, 2 separate things. And this, I want to make this like a no shame space for this, because I often, when I get intake forms, I will have women saying to me, and men, it feels wrong to say this, but I want to lose a bit of weight. I feel like I'm holding on to a lot of stuff. I don't feel like my body is at its healthiest, even though I'm eating the right foods. And it makes me sad that now it's like politically incorrect and anti-woke and the wrong thing to say of actually, yes, I would like to lose weight. But what's funny is it's all across fucking TikTok to take the new effing drugs to lose weight, which isn't a good, like, do you know what I mean? It's just like, it's such a fucked industry. And I think it's a fucked industry because it lacks authenticity and it lacks depth in the conversation. Anyway, I'm going on to a fucking tangent of like my warrior woman is just like my activism is coming out. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got a really exciting announcement that I am doing a free masterclass. Yep. When does she ever do one? She's doing one. She is doing one in October of this year, but I'm sure we'll be doing it again, or we're going to make it evergreen. So just if you're listening to it and you've missed it, that's okay. Maybe send a DM, maybe look at my website. You'll find it somewhere. Or if you can't, obviously just send an email to us. But we are doing I am doing a free masterclass on understanding your trauma in October. Men are welcome. Women are welcome. Dogs are welcome. Children are welcome. I will probably swear because it's me, so maybe not children. But anyway, everyone is welcome. And on this free masterclass, I am going to walk you guys through what actually is trauma. What out of your habits and the bad cycles that you're in are connected to your trauma? Like, where are the links? I'm literally going to be going through so many different symptoms of trauma, different habits, different cycles. And I'm really having the intention of helping you guys to weave together, oh, the reason why I have this cycle or this habit or this trauma response is actually because of A, B, and C. So I'm going to be pulling out the most common things that I see and walking through them all and really helping you guys to understand these different responses that you're in. So if you haven't already joined, because maybe you've seen it on my Instagram story, the link is below to that. It's completely free. So you can come to that. And if you can't come to the live masterclass, then you will be able to get the recording, no problemo. So that is that. Let's get back into the episode. My blueprint of healing so that you can be her or him is not just about healing the root of everything, but also integrating that healing with embodiment so that you're immediately shifting from the woman or man that you currently are to who you'd be proud of. You get to disconnect from the box that you put yourself in and literally rewrite your mind, your body, your soul to be in alignment with who you know you are deep down. And when we ignore our physical body in the component of becoming that version of ourselves, because it's wrong, quote unquote, to say that you want to change your body, we shame a part of ourselves that we need to fully support and be in alignment and back in order to have that life that we want to be having. So many of us are too comfortable with the lives the way that we are, right? Our lives the way that things are. We shy away from difficulty because we think that we're scared or we shouldn't do it. We've become lazy and disjointed as a society. And as a result, we have this push pull in many of us wanting more, but not wanting to do those expansive things that will get us the life that we want. We have to be okay with letting go of parts of ourselves that need to die so that we can be reborn. And if part of your identity is around being stressed all the time, being burnt out, being the fat one, being having PCOS, having endo, being infertile, always having headaches, having long COVID. If your identity is wrapped, and that could be a really triggering thing to hear, everything that I just said. If your identity is wrapped up in that, though, you are not going to allow yourself to change. So as much as you sit here thinking, Monica, I want to change, I'm ready to do this. My question for you is, are you actually? Are you ready to be seen? Because friends, when you are healthy, when you are full of energy, when the whites of your eyes are bright and white like a pearl, when your skin is glowy, when your hair is healthy, when your nails are healthy, when you have energy, when your body is open, when you just feel good in yourself, you are seen. People see you. But if you don't want people to see you, like I spoke about from the energetic component in the last podcast, and I said module again, the last podcast, if you don't want people to see you, you're going to put this barrier around yourself to stay in the hiding. And then that is playing into the energetic component of getting healthy, losing weight, getting rid of the inflammation, whatever it is. So when you start to focus on your nervous system, I want you guys to start to think about not just those conscious things that stress you out, but also the unconscious things that stress you out. Because very often we're aware of like, oh, I had a stressful day at work, or the kids have been a lot, or I've been sick, or I've been traveling. That's all great. But those often aren't the things that are actually wreaking havoc on your nervous system and creating this chronic stress. Remember, I spoke about this in the last episode. Chronic stress and loneliness. So social isolation, which a lot of us have since COVID, right? FaceTiming a friend ain't cutting it. That has literally been linked to cancer, to MS, to disease, as has grief. So when you have these chronic low level feelings in your body, there's two things that are happening. One, you've probably normalized it, so you're not even aware that you feel this way. And then two, when you've normalized it, you then can't recognize it. So you might be meditating, you might be exercising well, you might be doing the mindset, whatever it is. But if your nervous system is sending out this constant signal of fear, of stress, of scarcity, of tightness in your body, of I need to hide, what do you think that's going to have the flow on effect of? That stress is going to disrupt estrogen and progesterone in your body, which I spoke about the details of that in the last one. It's going to increase inflammation. It's going to throw out your digestive system. It's got all that emotion that you're harboring in your nervous system is going to be sitting in your liver. And if you're not detoxing, you're not also probably processing those emotions. This is more of a Chinese medicine energetic thing. Your liver processes emotions. So if you're not processing the emotions because you're shoving them down, that's sitting in your liver, then your liver isn't detoxing. Then you're not detoxing the estrogen. If your digestive system is thrown out, you're not pooing the estrogen out. So then the estrogen gets reabsorbed back into your body. There is a whole host of flow-on effects that happen from not having a regulated nervous system. You're eating when you're not hungry. Your hunger signals are off cue. So you eat food, but you're still hungry, for example, besides luteal phase. So you're still hungry. You wake up stressed, go to bed stressed. You wake up exhausted, go to bed energized. This is then low cortisol. You got adrenal fatigue. Like I could go on here forever. The overarching point is to re-listen to both of these episodes and really make notes of like scrap the like quantity of your food. Fuck the calories, like fuck all that shit that you're worried about. It's not that. Bring in your awareness of your hormones, your awareness of your emotions, your awareness of your nervous system. Where are those things dysregulated and out of alignment? Are you relying on your partner to regulate your emotions? Do you not feel inherently safe in your body? Do you only feel safe when you're in a relationship? Do you never allow yourself to be single? Like I could go on. All of these things can be harbored in your body as a result of turning into stress, inflammation, water retention, bloating, weight gain. I'm going to have to shut up because otherwise we're going to be here for another 50-minute episode because we're already here for 28 minutes. I don't know how that happened. I felt like I've been talking for 10 minutes. I know because you listen to this podcast that you are not a victim. You want to change. You want to look in the mirror and be so proud of who you are. You want to let go of your low frequency identity of depression or anxiety or being overweight or burnout. These things that maybe you're clinging onto because they are a part of you, you have to realize that they're causing you so much pain, and there is so much pleasure on the other side. So much pleasure on the other side. So to wrap all of this up, ladies, I am really hoping that you enjoyed both of these episodes. Please make sure you leave a written review and you can send a screenshot to us and then we can send you a little gift in return. If you haven't booked your ticket to the LA event, please make sure that you have checked your emails, that you've reviewed all the updated things, the updated offers of where we're at with the launch of everything. This is the only time I'm doing this kind of event. This is your chance to not only create that connection with me in person and create a community for yourself and meet like-minded women, which is so valuable and valuable to your health physically and your nervous system. It's also your opportunity to get your specific questions answered, not just on a podcast, not just on an Instagram story of like a question box, but from me to you, looking you in the eye. I'm not doing this again. And as many of you know, my book is coming out next year, which I am so excited about. And one of the beautiful things about this LA event that I'm really excited for is to create more of a connection with you, to create more of a community with you, for us to have that relationship. Because I know so many of you are so excited for my book and you're so passionate about these topics as well because you've realized how much they've helped your relationship and your life. And so I want to create this community and this connection with you so that you feel like you are with me for the book launch. Because who knows what's going to happen. And the success that I have gotten to today is thanks to you guys. It's thanks to you supporting my different platforms. It's thanks to you sharing my podcast, you leaving reviews, you joining my programs. So this is your chance to kind of get in with me before things get big with my book. And then I have to remove myself a little bit more because I just can't be as hands-on. That's just the natural evolution of where things are going in my business growing. So this is really your chance to feel like I know you, and for me to feel like I know you, yes, and for you to feel like I know you. Wait, what? This is your chance for me to feel like I know you and for you to feel like you know me. And also, this event is going to just blast the rest of your year off. I know this time of year, we don't like to spend money because we're saving for Christmas and we just blown everything up in summertime. But just remember that when you're investing in anything of mine, this isn't an investment for just now. It's an investment for 3 months' time, in 6 months' time, in 3 years' time. You are still reaping the rewards of this one investment that really can change your life in so many ways. So the details are below for the LA event. I cannot wait to see those of you that are coming there. The VIP option is there as well. So do not forget to grab that if you own your own business. And I will see you guys in the next episode, and we are talking about the difference between the alpha male and the soft boy. This is going to be a great episode for guys, so get your man to listen to this with your guy friends. And of course, it's going to be a great episode for the ladies to just understand the difference between the two and navigating those differences. All right, I will see you guys next week. Have a lovely rest of your day.